This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm Gavi, your host for this hour's news. Stay tuned. Let's start with Senegal. The Senegalese Ministry of Land and Air Transport will have the budget of about $595.4 million for the next 2026 fiscal year to support modernization and performance in the sector. The project was adopted on Monday, December 1st, 2025, by the National Assembly following presentation by Minister Yankoba Daime. The budget reflects the ambition to modernize infrastructure, improve citizens' mobility, and strengthen the security and competitiveness of transport in Senegal, according to the Parliament's X account. The budget is structured around 4 programs, the first focused on management, coordination, and administrative oversight. The second dedicated to developing and modernizing the rail network and transport systems. Road transport development and modernization account for the largest scale, reflecting the strategic importance of the national road network. Air transport development is also included within the budget to strengthen capacity and competitiveness. Tanzania Ministry of Planning and Investment announced that it has allocated a 25,000-hectare estate to private company Pan-Tanzanian Agricultural Development in Kiliwa district. In a statement published on its website, the Tanzanian Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority said the concession marks the launch of an agro-industrial project expected to mobilize around $640 million in foreign capital. According to information reported by the local media, the project includes the development of a special export processing zone covering about 809 hectares. It will host processing units for cassava, cashew nuts, sesame, soybeans, fish, and fruit, as well as factories for packaging, animal feed production, and alternative energy. The company plans to integrate more than 10,000 smallholder farmers into its sourcing program to ensure a steady supply of raw materials. According to project officials, production will be geared mainly toward Asian markets, including China. The Kingdom of Morocco has announced a pledge of $5 million to support Gavi, the vaccine alliance, during its next strategic period, 2026 to 2030. This marks Morocco's first ever contribution to Gavi and the largest pledge by a North African nation. It reflects the kingdom's growing leadership in advancing global health security, strengthening regional vaccine manufacturing, and championing African-led development. It further underscores Morocco's commitment to advancing global solidarity and ensuring that Africa's voice is heard at the highest levels of international engagement. The pledge aligns with the royal vision of King Mohammed VI, Allah Nasaru, to empower Africa, a vision of an emerging, united, and resilient continent rooted in shared progress, co-development, and solidarity. A new phase of the Scope Africa project, a regional initiative to strengthen the security of strategic ports in West and Central Africa, started this week in Lomé. The project was launched at a 2-day seminar that opened on Tuesday, led by Togo's High Council for the Sea. The HCM's Chief of Staff, Pen Larey, said securing maritime access is beyond the capacity of any single country and that the project builds on more than a decade of programs that have improved regional cooperation. Scope Africa aims to strengthen compliance with international standards, improve risk management, train port stakeholders, and a focus on inclusion and reinforce coordination and response mechanisms. Its launch comes as nearly 90% of trade to the continent moves by sea. Port traffic in the region is growing by an estimated 7% a year, and ports play a key role in moving goods, especially to landlocked countries. Ethiopia has reiterated its commitment to cooperative development and shared prosperity on the Abai River, responding to statements by Egyptian officials rejecting dialogue and making veiled threats. A statement issued today by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that the repeated statements by Egyptian officials categorically rejecting dialogue, making veiled and not so veiled threats are manifestations of the failure of the Egyptian government to come to terms with the realities of the 21st century. Steeped in colonial-era mentality, some Egyptian officials think that they have a monopoly over the waters of the Nile. They invoke colonial-era treaties and harp on their supposed historical rights, Ethiopia's Foreign Affairs Ministry noted. The statement continued, to have plain, weak, and fragmented client states that would do Cairo's bidding, Egyptian authorities conduct a campaign of destabilization in the Horn of Africa focused on, but not limited to, Ethiopia, noting that this misguided approach and effort is a failure of imagination and leadership. It is time to retire this obsolete playbook that has never cowed Ethiopia. Ethiopia has a long and proud history of imposing Pan-Africanism and supporting anti-colonial struggles throughout the continent, the ministry underlines, adding that Ethiopia is a nation of ancient civilization with a long track record of African solidarity. Therefore, Ethiopia has no room to accommodate the vestiges of colonialism that Cairo is finding difficult to eschew, the ministry affirmed. According to the statement, learning to live with Ethiopia's development and commitment to work in good faith towards a cooperative framework for shared prosperity and development will be the wiser course of action rather than the posturing and rhetoric that are keeping Cairo busy. Finally, the statement noted, what the world needs, what Africa needs is more cooperation and dialogue, not confrontation and conflict. Ethiopia stands firm in assertion of its right to utilize the Abai River to meet the needs of present and future generations, and its openness for win-win solutions based on principles of fairness and equity. Now to business headlines. Camtel, the state-owned telecommunications company in Cameroon, is preparing to enter the local mobile money market in 2026 with its new service, Blue Money. The minister, Menet Limbom Lee King of Post and Telecommunications, announced the initiative, listing it among the public operators' key projects for the coming years. Its board chairman of Blue Money, Jean-Marie Ame Auto, has already been appointed and is responsible for overseeing the rollout of this new mobile financial services provider. For years, mobile money in Cameroon has been dominated by MTN Mobile Money and Orange Money, which together account for more than 80% of electronic transactions. South African business confidence climbed 5 points in the fourth quarter after 2 consecutive declines, helped by broad-based improvements across 5 sectors, a survey showed on Wednesday. Business confidence stood at 44 points in the quarter ending December, 3 points above the long-term average, according to a survey by the Rand Merchant Bank that was compiled by the Bureau of Economic Research. The only sector to register a decline in confidence was building contractors, where sentiment moved 7 points, lower to 39 points. Despite the decline in sentiment, activity improved, suggesting that the sector continues to recover. Moving on to sports news, the buzz around the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations continues to rise as the tournament iconic trophy arrives in France on Tuesday, marking the next stop in its ongoing continental and international tour. After a successful outing in London last weekend, the prestigious Silver Whale will be displayed at the renowned Palais de Tokyo in Paris, where organizers have arranged a special exhibition to celebrate Africa's biggest football showpiece. According to officials, the Paris event aims to officially unveil the 2025 AFCON trophy to fans in France while fostering a sense of unity among Africa's vast diaspora community across Europe. The tour is also designed to draw football enthusiasts, cultural stakeholders, and high-profile personalities eager to connect with the spirit of the tournament ahead of the next year's edition in Morocco. The exhibition at Palais de Tokyo is expected to attract a large turnout, offering a vibrant blend of sports, culture, and continental pride. That's all for this time. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.